Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, breaker of the seven seals. Let's bring in our audio audience. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Welcome. Sisters and brothers, I have a few topics I want to discuss today. Maybe we'll get through all of them or not. If we have time, we'll get through all of them. Otherwise, we'll get through some of them, maybe cover the rest later. And the first topic I want to talk about is Made in America. Made in America. Brothers and sisters, you have a concerted effort, a dedicated effort, a focused effort, a desperate effort to redefine the past. To redefine the past. They have a saying that if you don't remember or forget the lessons of the past, you're bound to repeat them. See, they tell, the past doesn't matter, forget about it. Such hypocrites, because as soon as they arrest your behind, the first thing they want to bring up is your record. Well, if the past doesn't matter, why bring up your record? Oh, you got a rap sheet as long as my arm. What is your rap sheet, America? Why can't we bring up your record? Oh, that's critical race theory. No, it's not theory. It's facts. Why we can't bring up your record? Because that's the first thing a criminal want to do. Say, man, forget about the record, man. This is going to bring that up. No, that's the past. Let's deal with the present. But no, we want to see a record. See, let's find this record. And they're going to make your decisions about you. They're going to make decisions about you. Let me say it again. They can make their decision about you based on your record. But they tell you that we should not pay attention to their record. 40-year record, we should just disregard it. And then if you don't want to regard it, just forgive it. Forget about it. Forgive it. Forgive them. But they're not even asking for forgiveness. They ain't going that far because they want to deny even happened. That's why it's called a critical race theory. That means we don't know if it happened or not. It's a theory. It was historical fact. And don't be surprised if you start going out and looking the history that's revised or has disappeared. Oh, they've pretty much done that in China. They've rewritten their history. See, because they know what you don't know is that your decisions are to be based on the information that's given you. If they can control the information given to you, they can control your decisions. That means they control you, because they can predict your decisions because they know the information you have. So if they can control that information coming in, they control the end result. They know that. So now, see, because they never intended for you to have any place here in society. That wasn't their intention. See, that was an afterthought. Because you had these demons, I had one last night. Man, America's founded on freedom, justice, and equality. Really? Where was your ass at when it was founded? What was you doing? Wasn't your ass in the field? Well, you was house Negro, so you was probably in the house, but you still was a nigger according to them. But you see, and they bring these people on TV that say stuff like that because they know you don't read history, and so you take information in, and then you start acting like them. See, because that's the information you got. Then you have peer pressure. See, this is something the brother and sister brought up the other day. It was kind of interesting because that's the topic that was going to be a major topic, right, today. So I'm back off of that because they did a good job on it, right? I was going to talk about peer pressure. I'll just hit on it for a minute, right? See, a lot of our people, 80% of our people are driven by peer pressure. See, the lessons teach you there's the 5%, the 10%, and 85%. 85% are mostly driven by peer pressure. It's like limits. You know, limits, one run off the cliff, all the rest running behind it. They all go to their destruction. Because they see one do it, all the rest of them do it. They run right off the cliff to their destruction. You see one do it, the rest of them do it. You get one, like one that's known, and say you got somebody everybody knows. I mean, they're demons, so we don't use them as an example. Right? Take somebody like West, everybody knows, they pretty much, you know. So he says, hey man, I'm down with that program. They'd all be down with it. Not because the program itself is peer pressure. See? Following the limits, following the leader. See, that's sort of pressure. Because everyone else is doing it. Because everybody going in one direction, they kind of like push you in that direction too, right? And you have to take a lot of stamina, a lot of self-control, a lot of discipline to resist the crowd, to resist the wind. Because there's a current. Remember, it's all pressure, is a current. So you resisting the current. That's peer pressure. The current is going a certain way, and you can't resist it, so you go along with the current. The current pushes you like a sailboat, right? See? Current, sailboats, you know, go right along with the current. See? That's pressure. And so right now, the current, right, is being driven by the demons, and they got everybody going. It's members. Half the original nation, half the black people in America are demons. See? And they think they have the same flow or the same currents as certain pressure waves. They're emitting the same pressure waves as their devil fathers. They're emitting the same pressure waves. So pressure waves produce waves, right? And those waves are 17 million of them, right? And they all they're all consistent. They're all going in the same direction. It was a powerful wave. See? And while we all separated, going all different ways, they turns into Negrobots and everything else. So we're going all, so we don't have any, we're not consistent. We can't stand against them because everybody's going on doing their own thing. So they just carry it along with the waves. Just carry it right along to your destruction. See? Because, you know, if you don't have any self-assurance, then you depend on others for assurance. That means you're owned by them. That means you think of yourself based on what they think about you. That's dangerous. You think of yourself the way they think about you because you're looking for assurance from them. So then you're trying to do everything you can to please them so they can tell you good things about you. So you lost control of yourself and you controlled by them. And that's the state most people are. Trying to emulate the waves, the demon waves and the devil waves. See, we don't have any self-assurance. We don't have knowledge of self. Because they don't have knowledge of self. See, so they don't have a sense of self. You have to have knowledge of self to have a sense of self. They don't have a sense of self, so they don't have assurance of self. So they always seek assurance from others. How do I look? Oh man, you ain't cool, brother. What's wrong with you, man? Why you over? See, all of a sudden you switch up because you want assurance from them that you good, you cool, you beautiful, you smart, you hip, you're down. So you out here with the styles and stuff like this stupid style they got out there right now. They're walking around with slippers on out in the street. Now, how does that make any sense? None whatsoever. See? Pants hanging down. Down around their butt. And that's not a child thing. You got grown men, 20, 30, 40 years old, who walk around like that. So I just want to mention that. And before we actually get into it, right, a couple other things, right? So we got the chief demon, and I've said this before, I want to say it again. I want to make sure you understand this. See, there's a certain agenda going on, and they say things to support that agenda. And to you, it's just something they're saying. But no, there's an agenda behind it. Like, we're not going anywhere. Who said we're going somewhere? That's what you have to ask your question. Who said we're going somewhere? Where is there to go? Because, I mean, if they're saying you're not going anywhere, they wouldn't have to say that unless someone was telling you, we're going somewhere. So, no, we're not going anywhere. But you don't go and check that. So why are they telling you that? See? Who's the main person telling you that? See, it's not the preachers, and they go preach the demon preaching stuff, because they're not even into the Abrahamic covenant. They ain't into that. So that's not even a question. Only one's telling you that is Farrakhan. See, under Elijah, you was told you was going somewhere. You was going back home. That's the last speech Martin Luther King made. They told him don't make it, and then he blew his brains out the next day. That we was going someplace else other than here. See, because the Christian preacher ain't even telling you that. The only place you're going other than here is to heaven or to hell. But they're not telling you about going to another land, another place. They're not telling you. They're not talking that in those churches and stuff. They're not talking that. Because they know better to talk about something like that. Because they don't want to see the same fate that Martin Luther King got. See, they don't want you talking about that. That's another story. I'm not going, because I would be all night talking about all these things if I go into detail. See? So why is he telling you not going anywhere? Because he claims he's following Elijah Muhammad, but Elijah Muhammad made it very clear, we are going somewhere. That's the whole purpose, Master Muhammad, his whole purpose of coming here, right? To start the process of us leaving here and going someplace. That's the whole story behind Exodus, right? That those 9 plagues, right? It was 10 altogether, but 9 plagues, the purpose of them was for us to go back home. That's the Abrahamic covenant. But he's saying you're not going anywhere. And so you don't ask any question about that. See? Because we know absolutely that that's what Elijah Muhammad taught. We have the tapes, we have the proof. So you don't ask questions. And that's the reason why you remain programmed. And we're going to talk about that. We don't ask questions. Because the thing is that why is he saying you're not going anywhere? When that was the whole purpose of Master Muhammad showing up here on the shores of North America, whole purpose of Elijah Muhammad's 40-some-year mission. But now Farrakhan said, you're not going anywhere. So he's calling them both, their missions worthless, mission impossible. Their wishes worthless. Elijah Muhammad's 42 years was worth nothing, because that was the whole purpose. So he said, we ain't going so no. He was lying. He was lying to us. Master Muhammad, he came here in vain, because he was lying to us too. He ain't going nowhere. And you don't ask those questions. That's what he's telling you. So you don't ask questions. That's what he's telling you. He's telling you that they're both liars. And they're wasting your time. They're deceiving you. Because that's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of coming here. But he said, no, they ain't going. You ain't going nowhere. And you don't ask any questions about that. Why? Because you fall in one of three categories. You're either a demon. Okay? You're an agent. Let's make sure he stay on track. That's Louis Farrakhan Legion. Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI backwards. Or you're an idiot. So let me move on, brothers. We got a lot of things coming. I want to cover them before, I don't. I want to cover much of it as I can. I don't think I'm gonna get through all of it. Made in America. Now you can tell about the manufacturer based on the product the manufacturer manufactures. I mean, that's pretty simple, right? If you're producing drugs, you might be a drug dealer. And if your drugs are defective, that means you're defective because you produced them. They didn't produce themselves. See? Rats produce rats. Dogs produce dogs. See? That's where it works. So, here we have a situation in America where they bought a people, and I get a brother some props, brother. He talked about how we didn't come over here like this, right? So yeah, props to the brother. He's right. We didn't come over like this. We was made in America. So if they saying you niggers, you no good, you lazy, well, who made us? That's a reflection on the people that made us that way. That shows who they are. Because if they was angels, they would have produced angels. If they was beasts, they produced beasts. If they was niggers, they produced niggers. They the real niggers. See? They produced, because we wasn't like that. They made us like them. See? They're the real niggers because you go back to the manufacturer. So if they was good, intelligent, good people, then they would have made good, intelligent, good people. So they want to get out of all, oh, man, see, well, you had 40 years. You made us. We didn't make ourselves over here. This is what you produced. Took 64 years to produce it. You produced Negrobots. What you call niggers. Because you can't produce any better, because you can't produce anything better than yourself. You tried, you came close to it with the demons, and in a way they're better than you in some respects, but no, they're still you. It's just that they have abilities that you don't have. Because they can hide in the dark, they can hide amongst us, right? Like chameleons, pretend to be us and they're not. See, that's a property, that's a ability they have that you don't have. That don't make them better than you. Because from your point of view, they're worse than you. Because you don't love them either. You want to use them, you want to use your black-faced children, but you don't want them. Because they're still niggers to you. But you produced them. So if you made us like that, because when Elijah Muhammad came, he remade us back as we were, and you saw a whole different, and that scared you. See, that scared you because you had the whole world thinking that these people were nothing, dumb niggers, no good. And then Elijah Muhammad gave you a transformation that you done. See, because you don't listen to Lion Farrakhan. What he's saying now is, well, the devil just brought out what was in you. See, he's a demon, he's a damn liar. That wasn't in us. They put it in us. He always get them off the hook. Devils ain't devils no more. And we the problem. See, It ain't them. They brought out what was in us. See? They was the good people. They brought us over here, and then and evil came out of us. Didn't come from them. They didn't put it in us, right? They brought it out of us. Damn. They got to go. Brothers and sisters, once you wake up, you get a headache. I hate to wake you up I hate to wake you up, brothers and sisters. So, I mean, in a sense, wake you up because you need to wake up. But when you wake up, you don't get a damn headache, a monumental headache, because you understand all this shit they're talking about is total bullshit. All of it. It's total confusion. Nothing but lies that you don't know because you consuming it. Because what they did when they made you a Negrobot, they figured they changed your taste buds to like shit. So every time you feed you, hey man, it tastes good. You think I'm lying? Don't you eat chitlins? Oh man, chitlins good. See? You eating shit. They trained you to eat shit and like it. And so they feed you all this garbage all the time, totally against you, and you like it. They trained you, they programmed you and trained you to love and eat shit. Because as soon as you reprogrammed, then all of a sudden, man, you don't want none of that stuff. I mean, then you get a big, gigantic headache. Because, man, damn, I can't eat this stuff. It reminds me, when I was in the military, right? And I told you I was a Bible person because my mother and father, they was gone when I was a child, right? And I didn't know what to do. I had no relatives they took the ones that claimed it was my relatives, right? They took advantage of me, right? My so-called ones that called themselves taking care of, they just wanted the money from the state. They stopped working. All they did was stay drunk all the time and everything else. They didn't give a damn about me and my sister at all. I saw that right away, so I jumped, got the hell out of there and got into the military. See? So I grabbed hold of the Bible. Now, I don't know, I don't remember what made me do that. That's been a long time ago. I'm 73 years old. That's about, 60 years ago, 59 years ago. See? Because my father, he wasn't in the church. He was converted to Islam, but I didn't know it. See, my aunt didn't tell me that until I came in and I got my ex. Oh, that was your father was doing that. 'Cause I mean, he took me to the temple. He did take me, but I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a church or something. I had no idea. It took me one time. I know things started changing, right? But so I was reading the Bible. Like I said, my mother, she was a diehard Baptist. She passed when she was about 21, 23, something. She was very young. She's the only one in the family, because there's no history of cancer in the family, none whatsoever, just her. She was the oldest of her brothers and sisters. And she took that polio shot back then when they knew it could cause cancer. She died from cancer at an early age. She's the only one who took it. So make of what you will. So I adopted the Bible. I said, I'm going to do whatever the Bible says. That's going to be my guidance. Right? So I started reading it, and I got to the point where I was in by the time I got to the part where I don't eat pork and stuff like that, I was in Vietnam. Was I in Vietnam at the time? Yeah, I believe was that? No, I might have been in Heidelberg before they sent me to Vietnam. It's one or two. It's been a long time, right? And so I said, okay, I ain't eating that stuff no more, but I didn't know the difference between, I didn't know what pork was, right? I just, meat. I grew up, there was no distinction, we pork chop like that. Nobody, it was meat was meat. So I go to, they call it the mess hall, right? So I'm asking, see, I'm kind of thinking Vietnam because I got in trouble with this black cook because he keep asking this stuff, right? But I think it was Heidelberg when I first started doing that. I mean, I mean, what kind of meat is that? It's just meat. I said, no, because nobody was asking that. And it took me a while because they were tricking me and stuff. I had no idea. See? That's the state they put us in. See? So it took me a while to sort that out. Start looking up and reading stuff. Then you have to still identify because it's going to tell you. I mean, you see meat there. I mean, then you know, because right now you can go to a store right now, and I mean, when I was in Guam, I had a problem. I was in Guam. When I was in Guam, I ran a lot of trouble over there. I went to the supermarket, and they had sausage over there, pork sausage over there with the meat. I said, man, you know, it looks pretty good, man. You know, because I remember a long time, you know, when I was eating pork sausage, and I know pork sausage tastes much better than beef sausage. That's the way nature works. See, if it tastes good, it's probably bad for you. The better it tastes, probably worse for you, right? I'm saying, man, you know. I looked at it real close and agreeing, and I cut to ask people. I says, "Hey, man, why are you putting the pork over here in the beef section?" Oh man, everybody likes it. I said, "Man, but you can't be doing that because I almost bought it." Oh man, well, I don't know. You got a problem with it, see? And then you go to the store, right? Supermarket. Say you want to get you a what they call it, corned beef sandwich. Make me a corned beef sub. You can't do that. Used to do it, and that even wasn't so good because what they would do is they wash down the, you know, the thing where they cut the meat, that meat machine, whatever. They wash it off because you know they might have cooked pork in it for them, and that you know, they wouldn't in Sunni land that would be a no. But you know, in America, if you trying to be holy and pretend that you ain't gonna have nothing to do with pork anymore, you might as well get off the planet because everything in America is pork. You go to a restaurant, they cook the food with pork. So don't go in the restaurants, don't buy any clothes. You understand? Because a lot of stuff is, the machines and stuff, they use pork for everything. Because I remember, I don't want to get off track here, but I remember this brother, he tell me, man, I don't have nothing to do with no pork with everything, man. He's going to be holy. He's a holy brother when he lied him was around. So I'm saying, hey, brother, you got a wallet? Yeah, man, I got a wallet. I said, well, you look at it? Yeah, man. I said, you check out what it's made out of? Oh, man, it's leather. I said, you look at it again? It was made out of pork. Pork skin. See, brother, be real. We don't deal with pork here, but you in pork land. See, shake your hand with somebody, right? Just got to finish eating a pork sandwich. So you're going to tell everybody, check your hand, put a spotlight, I don't see any porks on it. See, I don't mess with it. I don't mess with pork. But I know I'm not going around here and put a computer on everything to check out if there's pork in it, because you might forget that in America, you won't eat anything. I'm just pointing that out. So I got away from my mess here. But the point is that they programmed us against ourselves. That's what it says in the book of Mark. It's talking about the demons. It said they was hurting themselves. They was hurting themselves. They was self-torturing themselves. They was beating themselves. They was beating themselves against the wall and everything else. Because that's where God's working against ourselves. Negrobots. Program not to think. Program against ourselves. Program to self-destruct at Master's command. That's what it took 64 years to do that. And the first ones came off the assembly line in 1619. We came in 1555. First one came off the assembly line in 1619. Fully programmed, stamped, certified. Jack Richardson, James Patterson, Jesse Washington. And you still walk around with those brands. They were brands, brothers and sisters. They were not names. They were brands. It was the brand to tell you who you was owned by. So if you was owned by Master Richardson and you was Amos, now you was Amos Richardson. He sold you to Master Blackstone, then you became Amos Blackstone. And you don't understand it. See, that's why we're so messed up. But sin is not on you. That's on them. Made in America. You didn't come over here like that. It took 64 years, and they couldn't even do it to the people that they brought over here. They couldn't even do it to them. They had to make a break, a total break between. They had to cut your. In other words, take a tree, you cut all its roots out. You cut all the roots out. That means that tree is dead. It's gonna fall over. It's not gonna. And slice wind gonna blow it over. They cut all your roots out. Total severance. If you remember that movie, Roots, not the second one, the first one, right? Where Cooney Kid said, talking to, what was his name? I forgot his name. He said, damn, don't you know anything? Don't you know about freedom? Because he didn't know nothing. He was totally cut off. From his heritage, his nature, everything totally cut off. And he was taken and totally, it's like you took all their guts out and replaced it. Yes, they did. Because they separated children. That's where Elijah Muhammad explained it. They took the children, they put you in cages, they imprisoned you. That's the whole story of Joseph. Joseph was in prison, and then it was his descendants that was enslaved. So they put him pairs in prison, and when they have because you put a male and female together, right? You know the result. And they would take their children, separated from them, and before the parent had anything, child could learn anything from his parent, took it away, and then they raised the children separately, and they told children what they wanted to tell them. See, you black, you're black like apes. That means you're an animal. See, ape over there, he's black. Because they used to tell you that. We blacks, we like apes. Brothers and sisters, shave an ape. And it's white under that. His blackness is hair. Shave them. Shave a monkey, and they're white underneath. Some of you think that, oh man, he sure look like ape. They're white underneath, brothers and sisters. They're not black underneath. They're white underneath that hair. And that's what they did. And so the child, he had no connection. You only know what they told him. And that was the first ones were all civilized. And that's the situation we're in right now. And it's diabolical. That's why it says, and the angel says, you do not know the depths of Satan, because you don't know the depths of what they've done to you. It's so profound. That's why I said you need the God to come. In fact, you need two. You need the God and the high priest to come to get you out of this, because no one else could do it. Now, a normal prophet couldn't do it. See? You said, well, Elijah didn't know. Elijah did it because he had the God stand behind him. The God gave him information to do it. He didn't do it on his own. And then it didn't stick. It wasn't that strong because a demon came along and unraveled the whole damn thing again. Pharaoh came along and undid everything Elijah Muhammad did. Because Elijah Muhammad, right, his whole idea is he forced the situation. See? Islam has to come from within, but he forced it on you, so therefore it's like you push a car. You push it, but once you stop pushing it, it stops moving. See, you got to give it an engine. And that's why it says Suleiman have to come and give you the engine. Because right now, you're just being pushed. You're pushed by Elijah. When he left, you stop moving. That says Suleiman have to transform you from angel to God, so you have an engine, so you keep moving. See? Not taking anything from Elijah. He did what he had to do. He was supposed to prepare the way for Suleiman, but Pharaoh came along and dismantled all of that. The lion, Aaron, made in America. So it's not your fault, brothers and sisters. I ain't mad at you. These people right here that's hearing this and know it's the truth and using you, those are the ones we're going to take care of them. They're going to wish they was never born, like it said in the scripture. They're going to wish they were never born. See? We ain't talking about the demons, because we know what demons, they do. We can't blame the demon for being demons. I mean, if you're a demon, you can't blame demons for being demons. You can't blame devils for being devils. But these people ain't talking about, I'm with Elijah and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things that Elijah talked about that ain't in those books. They'll say, man, they need to shut up. They see COVID coming. They don't know what's going on right now. They can't tell you what's about to happen. They have no idea. And 90% of what Elijah Mama taught ain't even in those books. I know, I was there. I was there from 70 to 74. And a lot of things he talked about not in those books. Not in Message Black Man. Not in How to Live. Not in Fall of America. Not Our Savior Has Arrived. They're not in those books. They're just books. There's some information that's in it. It's like most things Muhammad talked about ain't in the Quran. It's in the Hadith, and then all of it ain't in there. If they're going to put his whole life works in there, I mean, the book would be gigantic. Like Muhammad said, a lot of things that ain't in those books. One thing you used to say all the time, the minister used to say all the time, he says, be careful what you say and who you say it to, because Allah is amongst you now. I used to wonder about that one. You know, that's not none of those books, is it? And anybody who was around when I was around would tell you, they used to say it all the time. Be careful what you say, who you say it to, because Allah is amongst you. And they weren't talking about Master Prophet Muhammad. So Allah is amongst you. What do you mean by that? Be careful what you say, who you say it to, because Allah is amongst you. Then he talked about a lot of things about Master Prophet Muhammad that you don't know. That ain't in those books. I think in there about him being a made God is in there. See? But they didn't say anything about, right, in there where they told that the original gods are more powerful than the made God. He was made special for a certain purpose. We're going to talk about that later on. Anyway, I just want to I'll talk about this much longer than I expect to. But Negrobots, that's what it is. You're a biological robot. You're the first robots they ever made. Negrobots. That's the first robots ever made. Negrobots. Biological robots. You're wound up, programmed, stamped, named, and you're still doing what Master, still walking around doing what Master tell you to do right now. You don't ask any questions. You're programmed not to ask any questions. Because if you start asking questions, something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I start questioning, then no, you got, why is the robot acting strange? See, then they send a demon in. That's one of the Master's children. Remember, one of his black-faced children, he got the same brain waves as they got, right? And he sends in he's a repairman. See, and if he can't repair you, then he dismantle you. See? So-called black leaders back during the 60s, right? See, they start acting, talking different where they are now. They killed them, got rid of them. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Made in America. See? So Farrakhan want to blame you. Right? That's what was in you. No, they produce you. See, because he's one of them. He's always making an excuse for them. He's hugging and kissing on them. They ain't devils anymore. And then they hugging and kissing. All kind. The man is sick. But he's a demon. See? And we don't care about demons as long as they leave us alone. See? But he's living off of you because demons are parasites. But devils are parasites too. They're predators. They don't produce anything. If they weren't parasites, then why they come out and take everybody's stuff? Why they stay in Europe? Why did they make Europe a paradise? They're a superior race, right? So that means they should have made paradise wise. Europe should have been a paradise. Everybody look up and say, want to be like, emulate. But no, Europe was a shithole they was escaping from. Getting the hell away from it, taking everybody else's stuff. It says the devils would seek to kill, steal, and destroy. Isn't that exactly what the Europeans did when they came out of it? Come on, brothers and sisters. Stop the bullshit. Let's move on. Now this is black on black crime stuff. See, brothers and sisters, this is a lot of talk about here. I say so much information. See, so I'm just trying to keep it simple, right? Because this is the part of the programming. That's why it's so deep. You see, that's why you got to come to the angel and start studying angel. Because that's the only way you're going to break through. Because if you're trying to figure this out, Black Lives Matter, all this little, minutia, deal with all the minutia, you're still going to be lost. It's just like helium. Helium is lighter than air. Air is mostly oxygen, right? Got some nitrogen stuff in it. But air is oxygen. It's made of, I think it's 6 protons to make up oxygen. I got to look up it again. But helium only takes 2. So it's lighter than air. That's why you feel a helium balloon, it floats. See? Now you can try to be a pure oxygen, which would be light and oxygen, the oxygen we breathe in, because it's mixed with other stuff. Or you can turn into helium and then you just rise above all the bullshit. So you got some of it. Oh man, I'm working on this side. I'm working this side. No, you got to rise above all this bullshit to get out of here, because this is all going down. All this is going down. See, you got to be out of here. I say, come out of her, my people. It don't say stay and try to figure it out, try to make America work, try to figure out how to get around, how to handle this, how to deal with this. It said, get the hell out. It didn't tell you when Sodom, in the book, and we're talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, it tells people, go in and try to figure out how to dig a hole, right? Or make you a shelter, right? Or go to the west side of town or east side of town. It said, get the hell out. Total. And that was the whole purpose of the 40 years after Elijah left. Remember, Aaron was held in the wilderness for 40 years. Not only was it deception, but the whole part of it is just to take and burn off the old folks that had been around with Elijah, because the point is that their roots were so deep into America that it was impossible to pull them out. So we couldn't take them home. See, if you over 60, right, you probably ain't gonna get out of here. If you're 60, so maybe some people 50, you probably ain't gonna get out of here. It says only a few people that was with Elijah, and Joshua was one of them. It was Joshua and his son, none. I think a couple, 2 or 3 people that were still alive that knew Elijah. Because the rest of them perished in the wilderness. That 40-year period, they perished. You see, because their roots are so deep in America, this American dream, mortgages and all that kind of stuff, so deep. See, and then when they try to climb out, well, I'm like somebody, I'm going to Africa, and they got all these different stupid plans they're talking about, right? When they just got to break all the way through, total break. Total break is gravitational vortex, but you can't tell them that because it's hard for them. They got total break because they got 40-some years of roots still deep into America. I know. See, because when I broke the seals, I was what? It's 90. How old was I in 90? Born in 49. 41 years old. And my roots was getting deep. I had a mini mansion, right? I was doing what, Elijah was gone. I was still soldiering. I was still holding my post. But I was doing for self, like he said. Moving on. See? Had my own computer business. And then I broke those seals, and I said, oh. I called that loose. I lost everything. I'm not complaining. But when I realized the danger there, I gave it all up. I don't have no roots in America anymore. I can leave it a moment's notice. My wife and I can move it and leave it a moment's notice. Have no roots here at all. See? My children, it's hard to talk to them because, they building roots. Well, we'll see. It's hard. See? But part of the trick here is that that's why I said you had to break those seals, because the angel, the book of Revelations, explains everything. That's why I call it Revelations. It explains everything you need for this time period. The black man don't do it. The Quran don't do it. They're all them on their knees. None of them does it. See, this is the book. That's why it has to be sealed. It said the only one that you listen to is the one that broke those seals. So unless you know someone broke those seals, then you should be listening to anybody. Because that's the one that will come and explain all this to you so you can break free. So the angel reveals that half the people in America, half the blacks in America are demons. Master's children through rape, 20 years of rape. And I don't go into details about that, but just the stuff to say is that the slave master, right, he reserved the right. He didn't just reserve it. That was his right in his mind, and he acted on it, right, to take the virginity of every black woman, female slave. And as a result, most of the first church, and sometimes he did not take the virginity, But he demanded had the first child be his. And he put him back out in the field. I mean, come on. I mean, but some of them he bring in the house Negroes. These people are wicked. But that's what he demanded. And as a problem, because if you watch that movie Django, this Negro had to kill, this Negro butt had to kill another Negro butt just to get a beer and the chance to sleep one night with one of the females. It's pathetic, brother and sister. But that process produced, it says half the blacks in America are demons. That's their children. They think like them, have same brain waves, same pressure waves, because thought is pressure. So now, by doing that, because I talked about this demon, this is diabolical, and I could spend a whole hour, 2 or 3, 5, 6 hours just talking about that, so I'm not going to do that. But suffice to say, they just look like us. But everything else about them is with their, because they can't, the seed comes from the male. And nothing in that egg is going to change that. It might make it better or worse, but it won't change the nature of it. Just like you put seed in the ground, if the ground is rich, then the seed will come strong. If it's poor, then the seed might come weak, bitter, whatever. But it still won't change it. Apple seed will not change to orange seed or orange tree. So that's their children. See? So the conflict we have, you see right there, is between us and them. But they say black on black. Well, it's black on black. They're talking about skin tone. Because that's how they deceive you. That's part of deception. Because they see, in other words, just think about it. Biologically, it tells you you are what your father. That's biological fact. If you study biology, that's a biological fact, which is not commonly known because they don't want people to know that. They want you to think that, oh man, well, you know, just color your skin. No. And so what happens is that if you have a Caucasian father, right, and you have other than a Caucasian mother, then you whatever the mother was. That don't work that way. That's backwards. So in other words, if your father is Caucasian and you got black skin, say, no, well, you black. Why can't you be a Caucasian? You have to be Afro-American. For them, you African. Why can't you be okay? Because that's what you really are. That's part of deception. So they can infiltrate us, right, with their children, because they know the children cause division and strife and everything amongst us, because confusion, because they really are them. But they infiltrating us. And so we're going to constantly have conflict all the time. Because we have constant conflict with them, but now they can sit on the sideline and watch the show. They can sit on the sideline and watch the show. See? And we're never going to agree with each other. Constant fighting. And they call it black on black crime. No. It's us against demons. That's what the crime is. The demons fighting, doing criminal acts on us because we're not criminal by nature. It's them. Even as Negrobots, we're not criminal by nature. They got to force us into criminality. Because now in nature we resist it. Then why the robot hesitating? Why are they hesitating? Why are they hesitating? So they got to go and juice him up a little bit. Juice up his programming. See? But the demons, they have no problem, man. Let's go. Let's start a gang. Let's start killing black people. Because they ain't going out there killing mass, are they? Why is those black gangs? Are they going out there killing mass? I tell you. Why are they preying on you? Because they love massa. They love massa. Because massa their daddy. They're preying on you. But now they're black on black. Say fighting each other. They can't get along with each other. That's bullshit. See? And Farrakhan playing along with that. No, that's them against us. It's just they put black face on. Like back in the old days, right? They had black face. The actors put black face on. See? But now they got natural. That's what you're looking at right there. See? Because, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute, once we moved in, we don't have that problem anymore. We didn't have a problem when we came over here. They say, oh, we're fighting African tribes, fighting against each other, and all that kind of stuff. That's bullshit. That wasn't happening like that. That happened today. Europeans came in there. They had one, I think that movie, what, Shaka Zulu? See, little stuff comes out little by little. See? So Shaka Zulu, he went into a terror mode. And you can't blame the man because he saw what they was doing. So he said, man, he said he had to back off and say, man, we can't do things the old way. We got to be as cold as they are if we want to survive. So a lot of people say, hey, man, well, I mean, I understand where it's coming from, but if you watch the whole movie, the other African tribes wouldn't fight each other. That's who he was trying to stop. Because when they had a conflict, what they do is they dance the conflict over. And whoever won the dance, that was the end of the conflict. You know, they'd be out there with swords and stuff, but they didn't kill nobody. If they had a disagreement, if tribes had disagreement, they would dance the dance, and who won the dance, that was the end of the agreement, and they would follow it. But he said, man, we can't do that because these people come here, man. These people come here, these devils coming up in here, and there ain't gonna be no dancing. They coming for blood, and we gotta start. I understand where he was coming from. And he's sending a message to you. See? Because we had 400 years to learn that lesson that Shaka Zulu was trying to tell us. And some of us haven't learned it yet. See? But you're about to be short-circuited. That program is about short-circuited. See? Because on our way home, right, we have to kick ass. Read about Joshua. He had to kick ass all the way back home. Take back everything. Because we're going to take back how do you think we're going to get back what we took? All of this belongs to us. The earth, the heavens, and the fullness thereof. That belongs to us. And everything's been taken from us. Our land, our identity, our health, our wealth, our minds, our bodies, our women. Everything's been taken away from us. And we're about to take it all back. How you think you're going to get it back? Scratching your ass? Oh, man, well, please give me back, man. We have a contract. That's how you're going to get it back? Said, these 10 kings will make war with the Lamb. War. But the Lamb overcome them. How you think overcome them? Hey, man, love overcomes hate. Peace overcomes war. You understand? See, we're going to do a Gandhi on you. We're going to protest, and you're going to wrap up, take your sword and stuff, feel guilty and feel bad, and just going home. You think that's where it's going to go down? What's that, chapter 18? Do unto them as they've done to you. Do double. Farrakhan said, we can't beat them like it did to us. Well, it's true in some respect, because they're in our nature. You understand? See? But wisdom, right? You see, you're giving wisdom. And when you're under wisdom, you understand? It's not your nature to hurt other human beings. It's not your nature to do that. But if you got somebody masquerading as a human being, then you're reluctant to mess with it because that's a human being. But when your mask pull up, you find it's a beast, you have no problem doing that. That's what's about to happen, brothers and sisters. Because see, that's why Farrakhan ain't devils no more. What's Revelation called? What's Scripture called? Call them beast. See? That's why I said they have a form of a man. They have the form of gods, denying the power thereof. That means they have our form, but they don't have the power of us, the power of being human. That's what it's talking about. They had a form. And Elijah Muhammad came to pull this cover off them, show who they really are. And that's why Pharaoh had to come put it back on real quick. They ain't devils. No, we are human. You listen to the last thing here Sunday? Oh man, it's all humanity. He gonna save all humanity. Soon he gonna save all humanity. They not. That's what I call mankind. They're not part of humanity. But as long as you think they are, you reluctant to do anything because you can't. I mean, you know. But once you look, they showed you. They proved to you for that beast. See. But like I said, you was programmed. To be told that you was the beast. See, reverse it on you. Your program told you was the beast, and they're the humans. You're 3/5 human. That means you're a beast. If you're not whole human, that means you're a beast. And they're the humans. They flipped the script on you. And so therefore they could treat you like beasts because you were just beasts. And why they really the beasts? See, black on black crime. No. That's them against us. That's them doing that stuff. Chicago and every place else. See? This is what I was talking about here, see? See a checkerboard right here? Demon played? The blacks, that's us. And the whites, right? That's the demons. They're really white. They're really Caucasian. You see? But they look like us. And they keep us separated. See there? They keep us separated, divided amongst each other. They keep us separated, divided amongst each other, and we don't recognize them because you didn't recognize what demon was. For I told you, they went under the radar for 600 years. That's what it says. It tells you that. It says an enemy sowed his chaff amongst the wheat. They went all over the planet doing this. You got demons in China. You got Chinese demons. You got Asian demons. You got African demons. You got black demons here in America, original demons. See? Because they spread the seed all over the place. Because that's why you got confusion all over the planet. That's why people can't get along. See? Because they don't want the old way anymore. See, they had the old way for 1,000 years. That was fine. That's not fine anymore. They want what? The new way, the American way. Like their fathers. You don't see this, brothers and sisters? Because that's what they did. Because that's what they want. They want to be like their fathers. And so now you got conflict, and then who's America run to? The papers, they destabilize the place. The king got their place stable. They destabilize it because then he runs on their side because they're working together. He runs on the side of the demons. We want democracy. We want freedom. We want all of this. See, that's the American way. That's the pressure waves come from their mind, which is weak. Because we're going to get rid of all of that. See, all that's bullshit. Because they told hypocrites. And see, they go inside the demons against the authorities. And the Bible tells you the authorities were set by God. They tell you the authorities were set by God. That's what the Bible says. They understand that. But we want this freedom. We want democracy. Will you see democracy in the Bible anywhere? It says it's going to be kingdoms. God set up kingdoms. Said you're supposed to obey the kings. God, they said they're authorized by God. I mean, that's a deep thing subject I'm not going to, right? See? But anyway, but they call the kings and stuff. They're dictators. They hate dictators. But they say they love Jesus. That's hypocrite. Because Jesus is a dictator. Jesus they talk about as a dictator. Because you better do what he tell you to, you're going to hell forever and never. And you better not do so much. You do exactly what he told you. He said his way is the only way. So if you come any other kind of way, besides his way, you're going to be a thief and a liar, and they're going to destroy you. He said you have no choice. You have to do it his way 100%, or you're going to hell. Now, if that's not a dictator, what is it? But they hate dictators. Brother and sister, you about to in for a big shock. Because things I'm telling you right now, it might not be resting, but it's going to rest you in a minute. And when it does, these people are going to be in trouble. See? And all those that's been blocking this and everything else, ooh. But better they wish, I got the message, black man. I got for America. I got the Quran. You understand? Okay. Hold on to them. Hold on to them. Well, let's talk briefly about the science. I think I'm pretty much close this up. Now, this scientist thing. Now, Elijah Muhammad talked to scientists. He said there was 24 scientists, 25 altogether. The 25th one was the supreme scientist. That's a liar person, right? Then he had 24 scientists. He says of the 24, 12 are the main scientists and 12 are the minor scientists. The major and the minor. That's what he said, right? And the scientists, all together, the 12, their wisdom all together makes up the wisdom of the 25th scientist. Because he has all of it. He has 360 degrees. But they pretty much have like maybe 30 degrees apiece. But they profound. But that's all they have. And when you put them all together, they got the whole thing. And they're the ones who write history. See? But once they write the history, write the history, it's a process not done by just writing down, thinking it through. They have powerful computers that's off the world. That's another story altogether, right? But once they do it, there's other things involved in that process, right? Because it's got like a, well, I'm not going to go into detail, brother and sister, right? But the thing is then they go to the 25th science for approval. Because before they take a book and they say, okay, this is the book we're going to send out, because the book itself is not just prophecy, but also, what's the word I'm going to use? It impacts. So in other words, they see that they see an earthquake coming. That's prophecy, right? But telling you, right, that it's coming and where you should go, right? Well, that's not prophecy there. That's information based on prophecy, and that's in the books. See, so they have to look. Once they get the prophecy and they see what's going to happen, then they can go in and say, make decisions about information they want to give you, how to deal with the situation. See, because they can give you better information, advice from their vantage point, because they see the whole picture. See, because all you're going to see, you're going to have foresight based on the prophecy they give you, right? And how much you study and everything else. So it's that kind of thing. So before they can do that part, see, because the prophecy, just giving you the prophecy, that's one thing. See, that's foresight. But put in the other aspect, the influencing side, they got to go to the 25th science and say, okay, is that okay? Because that's going to affect the outcome. And he says, okay, signs off, okay, that's fine. That's the way we're taught by Elijah Muhammad. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Right? But he says he has to sign off on it. Okay? Now, the scientists themselves, right, they come, some people think they're prophets, but that's another story. But what they do is, they're the God, see, because they're not really prophets, they're the God, right? Because when the Prophet Muhammad came back, remember, he didn't interface, he interfaced with Gabriel, which is an archangel. Some people think he may be a scientist, but he had interfaced with someone else who tuned into him, told him what to say. He gave him, that's how he received the Quran. See, but anyway, I'm not going into all the details there. I'm just saying, right, that for a period of time, one of the scientists, because remember, they have probably 30 degrees out of 360. Because if you divide 12 by 360, you get 30. So they have that. And so every period of time, right, because if you look at the 24,000 years, right, then you say, well, that's 360 degrees, right? So a scientist comes for that, for any particular time change, and one of the scientists that's primarily focused on that particular situation, he comes in, he's the God for that period of time. Like Dr. Yaku, he was a God. He was a scientist, right? So he was God for 6,000 years. Because he came and said, okay, this is what we need to do for this period of time. Elijah Muhammad, listen to these people, Elijah Muhammad never said he was a wicked or evil God. Never said anything like that. See? So well, how do you do something wicked? Well, the thing is, what he did, depends on your perspective. What he did was necessary. Because if you understand energy deprivation, which these people never heard of before I told them, right? If you understand energy deprivation, we would suffer energy deprivation. And so, as the Quran said, he had to make so we didn't have the power to rule anymore. We lost control of our civilization. So, it takes energy to do anything. So we didn't have enough energy. At that point in time, we was losing energy, so we lost control of our creation. We kept, after 35,000 years ago, we left control of our reality, because we started believing in religions and stuff. So we gradually, until now, up until 1949, right, 1948, right? Up to that's what was the end of energy deprivation. So we kept losing, right? See? No, but actually we started gaining in the 1860s. That's another story. I don't want to get into that right here, brothers and sisters. But the point is that we went through a 50,000 year of energy deprivation period. And so he took and says, well, it's bad civilization is better than no civilization. Like, bad water is better than no water. You need water to live. You can't say, well, that's bad water. Well, if that's what keeps you alive. That's what you got to drink. It may be dirty and everything, but it keeps you alive. It's because it's better than no water. And that's the situation we had. So a bad civilization, because they said it would make misery and shed blood, a bad civilization is better than no civilization. So that's why they was made, because they would have enough energy to maintain civilization. Because they were stripped down version of us. They didn't require as much energy we need. Because everybody gets the same amount of energy. You need to get acquainted with that point. And so, but they didn't need as much. We was like a Lamborghini. It was like a Volkswagen Beetle. They could live off of pork. They could live off of bad gas and oil and everything else, right? Fuel. But Lamborghini can't do that. But see. So that's the case. And Dr. Yakub took, and so he said, okay, that's what he did. So it's up to you how you want to deal with that. But from my point of view, he was a scientist. He did what he needed to do to cover that 6,000 year period of time. See? But the point is, they went overboard. Once he made them, they went overboard. They didn't obey him. They didn't obey the scientists. They didn't obey anybody. They did their own thing. They made themselves to be gods. And that's why they're being judged. Because they had just done what they was told to do, what they was given the guidance. That's a sealed Bible. If they followed that, right, and just did that, because we were supposed to submit to them. We were supposed to be enslaved by them. But slavery was the economic part of it. It wasn't the other side of it. It wasn't abusive, nor the physical side. Slavery was just the economic side of it. That's capitalism. Capitalism at its best, right? Which means, right, maximum profit, minimum low overhead. That's capitalism at its best. That's what slavery was. See? But they went beyond that. It's raping, murder, and all that kind of stuff. That's what they're being judged for. So, we see that Master Muhammad's father, how did he get the knowledge to give Master Muhammad? He didn't get it from himself. He had to go to other scientists to get it. That means he's one of the scientists himself. Because if he was the supreme, the 25th scientist, he wouldn't have to go ask anybody anything. See? And so Master Muhammad sees, so he's a scientist. So he took all that knowledge that he got from other scientists. Now, I don't know how much he got. If he got all of it, I don't think he got all of it, but he may have. Because he said a God had to be prepared. Because see, Master Muhammad's father would have been suffering energy deprivation also as the original man. But he took and circumcised his son so he would not suffer energy deprivation. See, you don't understand what circumcision means. Maybe you understand the physical side of it, when they take and circumcise a male child, right? But the spiritual side of circumcision means you get rid of that skin tone. Get rid of that skin tone. See? So therefore, you won't suffer energy deprivation. You'll be successful. That's what Dr. Yakub did. He got rid of that skin tone. He went deep. He went all the way to nature. They didn't do that with Master Muhammad. Just took the skin tone. But he was circumcised. That's what it means. Circumcision means get rid of that black. See? So therefore, you'll be successful. So that's what he did. So he put that knowledge in his son, right? He produced a son that was, circumcised, right? The little black, got a Caucasian woman, so that's why his son looked like that. But he's the original man. See? And so now he could effectively, because Master Muhammad his father had the wisdom too, but he couldn't do what Master Muhammad did because he wasn't circumcised. But Master Muhammad was, so he would do all the power. He could take and manifest all that power, right? Act on that power that he had that his father could not. His father had the wisdom because he had to have it to give to him. But he couldn't act on it like Master Muhammad did because he was circumcised. He wasn't suffering any deprivation. See, so the body had to be prepared. See? So he's the God of this period. We coming out in deprivation, right? He's God of this period. He's one of the scientists. See? We move to the next period, there'll be another God for that. One of the scientists will preside over that period. But it says the only time in history that the 25th God will be present, manifest, will be at the end. Because he says, Elijah Muhammad says he stays hidden. He stays hidden from the people. He don't let the people know who he is. He said, even if somebody walks up on him and figures out, he said, snatch the idea from his mind. See, he said he can tune into all the other signs, know what they're doing, but they can't tune into him. He keeps himself masked, hidden. For the whole 76 trillion years, he said the only time he's coming this time because the situation is so dire that he needs his personal touch. He needs his personal touch. He can't just rely on a God, a scientist himself. He has put his personal touch. So he'll be revealed in this period of time. That's what Elijah Muhammad said. That means he used to say things like, be careful what you say and who you say it to, because Allah is amongst you. He said things like that. He said all things as, and see, these things are in the book, because I was with Elijah Muhammad from 70 to 75. He says, some other things he said. He says he couldn't teach everything because the one come after him, he wouldn't have nothing to teach. He said things like that, but these people don't complain. See, because most of them never saw Elijah Muhammad. All they got is that book to rely on. See? It's like going out there and you run to an elephant, you're blind, and you grab his tail and you're trying to figure out what the whole elephant looks like. I got his tail, man. But you don't know about a trunk, you know about it. All you got is a tail. You're trying to figure out what the whole elephant's about by a tail. So they trying to tell you, figure what Elijah Muhammad's all about by reading one of the books. It's sad. And they're going to pay a heavy price for that. Because if they was with Elijah Muhammad, they were behind this message. So you say, well, why would he remain hidden? Because he's not looking, because he know we all are one body. I keep explaining that to you. We all one body. We got foot cells, we got brain cells, we got eye cells, we got heart cells. We got all that. That makes up a nation. The Christians call it the body of Christ. That makes up a nation. We're not individuals like you think it is. Quran tells you that. But they taught you that, so that keeps the confusion. Because then you don't incorporate the body. That means you become a cancer cell. Because they got the Negrobots, they become a cancer cell of their own body. They become a cancer cell of their own body because we're one body. But now you're a Negrobot and you think you're doing what Master Terry do, so now you become a cancer cell of your own body. That's why you need radiation, some severe, heavy radiation to short circuit your programming, right, to save this body. So, if the God walked around telling I'm the God, then everybody would be worshiping everything else, so he wouldn't be able to do anything. He wouldn't be able to live his life. He wants to live his life just like you live your life. Master Muhammad wants to live his life like you think we're going to be in here sitting on the throne worrying about everything you doing. Watch it. What is he doing? He wants to live his life. Master Muhammad already gave you 100 years of focus to hold on trying to get you out of here. Once he get there, he want to live his own life. Have a family and all thing else. He can't do that if you around there all around him all the time, following him around and everything else, asking questions, tuning in on him all the time. That's where prayer comes from, tune in. We lost the power to tune in, so prayer was a substitute. Even Jesus tell you in the hereafter, you won't have to pray. So you don't even understand what prayer is. Prayer right now actually is reciting the Quran if you understand it. Oh, he said the Quran. No, Quran is very powerful. It's just not the book for this time, but it's very powerful. You can recite it. I explain the science behind it. That's the way that's the Quran even tells you that. Reciting the Quran, right, at night for 1/4 or 3/4, whatever it says, right? It says maybe it raise you to a great glory. It doesn't say that about the regular prayers. It says only about the reciting the Quran. You don't understand it, brothers and sisters. See? So that's why he's a hermit. He don't tell you who he is. Because if he did, then he wouldn't be able to live his life because you'd be bugging him all the time. He still maintains control of this civilization. The scientists know who he is when he allows them to. He directs things. He can direct you by tuning into you. You don't even realize it. Give you thoughts that you didn't even know that you had. But he don't reveal himself, but he will reveal. It says he will reveal himself during this time because it requires his personal touch. because things are so dire. That's why you see in Habakkuk, you have two of them. You have two. See? And so it said when the seventh trumpet blows, then the mystery of the God will be revealed. Then it'll be very clear. So he will then at that point in time, he will make himself, he will openly manifest who he is. Openly manifest. See? He gets back home, once everything is safe and secure, we're back home and everything's under our control, whole universe back under our control and everything else, then it goes back into hiding again. I don't know about that part. I don't know how many to speak on that part, but I assume that's probably what the case will be. Since he took 76 years of doing that, I'm pretty sure he'll probably go back to it. And then, like I said, for every period of time, then one of the signs to step forward that is versed on that particular time, that's the best suited to handle that particular time. And right now, Master Muhammad is the one. He's the one. See? That's why our body has prepared to be the God for this period of time. You understand? Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So, I think that's it. Let's see. Okay, that's some more things. I'm not going any further, brothers. I got some other topics, but we talked quite a bit here. And let me check on something here. We talked quite a bit here, and I think I can follow up later with more. Let's see. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna call it well, I got a few comments here, so I'll address a few of them. Then I'll close out. But one says, what the hell are you talking about? Well, you know who that is, right? So we ain't worry about that one. I don't waste time arguing with anybody. See, when you know the truth, you don't have to argue. See? When you know the truth, you don't have to argue. When you argue, that means maybe you're not secure in yourself. See, when you're self-secure, you don't need assurance. When you're self-assured, you don't need assurance from other people. See? So when he say, what the hell are you talking about? See, he's looking for an argument. See? So I'll just put this out to him. You know, go and read this thing. It says this. When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, now see, I know you have an idea about that. When you see Jerusalem, who controls Jerusalem? Who controls Jerusalem? Who controls Jerusalem? Right? Jerusalem is capital of what? Isn't false Israel, aren't they controlling Jerusalem? Isn't that their capital? But it says when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, no, its destruction is near. See? But you saying something else. But that's what it said. It said they're going to be destroyed. But if they're the true seed of Abraham, they can't be destroyed. And it's tell you they're going to be destroyed. That's why Jesus said they're not the true seed of Abraham. That verse right there. So right there, go deal with that verse. That's what I'm talking about. Deal with that verse. That means they're false. Because they could not be destroyed if they're true seed of Abraham. Because once we return, you can't be destroyed. But it said, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, its destruction is near. So that's what I'm talking about. And I know here, the LOL, well, whatever. Racist. See? You know who that is, right? A racist. Well, the point is, see, white people are not racist. You know what makes them racist? When you're looking out for your own family, that's not racism. I don't blame white people looking out for white people. I shouldn't even say white people. I should say Caucasian. Because that skin tone, I don't want to get in that skin tone thing, because being white don't make you Caucasian. See, that's that skin tone trap. Because Master Muhammad is white, but he's original. See? So, Caucasians are not racist if they're looking out for themselves. That's not racism. You're supposed to look out for your family. But when you go in and start doing things to other people because their race, That's what makes it racism. And that makes them racist because that's what they did. They came over here and brought us over here. We wasn't bothering them. That's what made them racist because they cooked and took and destroyed us because of our race. That's what makes you racist. And they got rid of so-called native people because they're race. See? So I'm looking at my people. They don't call me a race. That's what makes you racist because you're going and doing something to other people and we ain't doing anything to them. See? Get it right. See? So that's a dummy there. Right? See? Like the show, who's they? I don't know who's they mean. Right? I don't know what that means. Hello, everyone. I don't know. Anyway, brothers and sisters. So that's all the comments. I answered them. Right? You can contact us if you want to. Right? You can send your email address to us if you want, so we can let you know we have when we're on. We're on every day, right? And we also send a link to the video version so you can see, because sometimes I have video graphics that you can't see. So once this in, I will send the link to the video version that's going on right now, so if you care, look at it. Anyway, brothers and sisters, that's enough for today on the Black Alert segment of Fire Zone. Fire Zone out. And for you, brothers and sisters, on your video version, 1 second here. I got one thing I have to check on. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, that's good. Good, good. Okay, let's see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Okay, we'll leave it there. Okay, brothers and sisters, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Sulaiman Rahim, Messenger of the Covenant, Breaker of the Seven Seals. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.